Luke chapter 2, verses 8 through 10. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them,
Fear not, for behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be unto all.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it perhaps I'm going insane from all night abiding in the field? Look at the thing up on the ridge. Oh, what you reckon it is? It's moving. I think it's on wheels. Is it a flame? Put to a cart? Come to a woe? There in the dark, why in the world would you move such a thing? Low enough heart, I could have sworn I heard a shout. What's going on? It's closer, it's coming our way. Then you'll get up, gather the sheep, tell them there's no time to sleep. My God, it's the end of the I'm so afraid, but I was right. It was a shout, come from the light. It is a woman on fire with two wings. And though she burns, it seems to me she's just as calm as she can be, trying to get us to hear what she sings. Then you get up, gather the sheep, tell them it's no time to sleep. My God, it's the end of the world. Then you get up, gather the sheep, tell them it's no time to sleep. My God, it's the end of the world. My God, it's the end of the world. My God, it's the end of the world.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Okay, dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe that dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. There was one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard, to think really hard, to think really hard.
Yeah, happy hump day. Welcome to the IRONWORX right here on freeworld.fm. We are Waltless today, sans a Walter. He had some family issues that needed to be taken care of. But we are joined by a Zachary Zabala. Good morning, Zach. How the hell are you doing?
Hey, Josh. Not too bad, not too bad. House is getting back to normal. Dogs are settling down now that Cami's back home.
That's good.
I mean, it was not so much Hank. Hank's fine, but Minion is lost without her. Like, he doesn't know what to do when Cami's not here to sleep with and all that kind of stuff. It's cute. But he's good. Cami's back, so Minion's back too. Not sleeping in my bed and waking me up every 25 minutes.
You know, survive the apocalypse.
Hmm.
Which is what they was that
And
Mad Max? No, it was the other one, Thunderdome, I think. When he found all those little kids looking for the airplane.
mm-hmm.
They called it the apocalypse.
The hockey clip.
Big shout out to Walter and to Quentin. Hope everybody feels better. Recovers
Yeah.
nicely.
Mike wants to know, how is the chat glowing on stream?
Well, that's just
That's
shaders.
skills.
It's shaders. Like if you want to upscale your game, you rework the shaders, changes the look of the games you're playing. OBS offers shaders, so I just play around with the shaders. Good morning, Mike. Good to see you there in chat. You're up awfully early. Good God.
Or up awful late.
Or
one
up
the
awfully
other.
late. Right.
Always a pleasure. Oh, now there's all these how to see the next 20 years of eclipses. Yada, yada, yada. There's all these, yeah. Hey, whatever gets people looking up. Interested.
Yeah, that song I opened up with was big surprise, Tyler Childers. But it was a song about what might possibly go through one's head were they to see an actual angel in the sky.
That is so eerie that you said that. I don't know what brought it up, why this thought came to me. But I thought about, like, right before the show, like while I was laying in bed, waking up, I don't think I would ever want to meet an angel. No joke. That thought came into my head. Like, would meeting an angel be a good thing? It was that song, that Tyler Childers song. Something he said in there about meeting an angel and an angel coming and saying something. Yeah, I don't know. I was always told, like, if you see an angel, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not
Like
one of those biblical scholars, but from what I remember, seeing an angel doesn't have a really positive effect on one's life. I mean, it has a huge effect in your afterlife, sure. You find God's favor, etc., etc. Although they don't talk about the people that ignore the angels, they only talk about the people that listen to them. And things went, the interaction with the angel went well. I can imagine there's probably lots and lots and lots of accounts where the angels tried other people, but just couldn't quite make it work. Yeah, I don't know. The verbatim accounts makes them seem a lot less, harps and robes and wings.
And I think it's the movies that did that to me, because every time I see angels in movies, they really don't like humans. They kind of despise us.
And this is the one I was thinking about in my head not too terribly long ago, just the other day, about free will and God's law, and just how it is that, why it is those angels might be so upset at humans. Because they have that free will. Sorry,
from
go
my
ahead.
human point of view. Sorry, Josh.
I got nothing. I totally lost my train of thought.
I was just saying, when you said that, yeah, it dawned on me that, everything we read about the angels does come from human points of view. You know what I mean? So it was those humans that pissed off an angel, or I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really the Bible guy. But in all those things, it always, like angels coming down. What was that show? Bad Omen.
Mm. Yep.
Omens or Bad Omens?
Bad Omens. Yeah, that was the Neil Gaiman show. I didn't realize it was Neil Gaiman until I think last week when Walt mentioned it.
Yeah, and I guess when Gabriel went down, like, it was a kind of a bad thing. Like, what's going on here? When he comes down, it's supposed to be like the beginning of the end, or I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't the biblical guy. I was taught a lot of this stuff about reading or singing hymns in elementary school and stuff like that. Hand me down your silver trumpet, Gabriel. All that kind of stuff. And Call of Duty is ridiculous. There's a new, and people are buying this thing. There's a glove. You just wear a glove. You get a skin, I think, or something like that. It's kind of like Fortnite. You see your character and you want that character. You go pay $5, $7, whatever. This glove, it's just a glove. $80 you have to spend on different stuff to get this glove. That's more than the game itself. That's insane. And people are buying it. I just don't get it. Even if I did spend money on video games like I used to, I wouldn't buy that. I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm old.
Yeah, I think it's just part of getting older.
Yeah. Would you ever spend more than you paid for the game or an accessory? It doesn't do special. You don't get like extra anything. You don't get to, get a special gun or, like you get zero advantage. It's not like pay to win.
I can't imagine.
There's no way. So apparently they have satellite footage. Did you see the eclipse from the ISS?
No.
This shadow looks way bigger than 150 miles. Like they have two lines there.
Oh, see that one? That's the one that confused me too, because I clicked the link to look at the eclipse and all I saw was the fucking shadow on the earth. Well, that doesn't show me an eclipse. It shows me a shadow of the eclipse as it shines on the earth, but that's not the eclipse.
And of course, they couldn't look at the sun being eclipsed from the ISS for some reason. They could only look at the earth. Do they not have windows facing the sun?
That was my question. Why I couldn't figure out why they were showing me the shadow. Can't you just turn around? Can't you go to the other side?
Zero sense to me.
Windows on the port, but not the starboard side? What the fuck?
They were members of the Expedition 71 crew captured a striking shot of the moon's shadow from around 260 miles above Earth. The dark void was passing from New York State into Newfoundland, Canada at the time. Right. That looks so ridiculous. Oh, it was no accident, though. They've been gradually maneuvering the space station for months. Because I heard somebody bring that up, like, how did they see the eclipse? Just happen to be going over it while it's happening? But for months, they've been maneuvering to be able to see this one.
3 centimeters every other day. That's what they've had. I don't know. I'm just making that shit up. But is it really that? I don't know. Would you need to spend months positioning yourself in order to see the ISS or see the eclipse if you were in the ISS? Seems like getting yourself into a position to see the sun would be pretty fucking easy.
Yeah. Can't look that way though.
We spent months positioning ourselves to not look at the sun. Cool.
You could see the shadow on the ground.
We spent months positioning ourselves just outside the shadow so as to be able to see the eclipse but not show it, but still get a really good view of the shadow. Because that's what's important.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of good pictures of the eclipse too. Travis got some really good ones. Nemo got some really good ones. You know, the weather was working with Karen pretty well. So we'll see what happens. I was looking at it through, we had some eclipse glasses, and then I had my welder's mask. It was weird. Through the welder's mask, it looked like the shadow that was, you know, whatever was happening up there, the dark part entering the sun, almost looked like it had its own eclipse happening on it. Like another indent or another sphere was opening it up to where you could see it again, kind of, just in a little part. And then it stopped. It was weird. Cami noticed it. I didn't even notice it when I was looking through it.
Huh.
Like, do you see that the other thing is starting to look like it's getting eclipsed too? It could have been the welder's mask as well. It wasn't just a regular welder's mask. It was the kind that doesn't turn on until you get something bright enough to turn it on. So you could wear the mask and see through it. But as soon as something is bright enough, it will kick on the welder's shade. And then it makes the mask darker.
Not fancy.
Yeah. Fancy schmancy. I need to replace the battery, though. It was kind of flickering when I was looking at the sun every once in a while. And you have to stare right at it. That's another thing. Cami kept like moving her head back and forth. And if you're not staring right at it, you have to be like 90 degrees perpendicular, real close to it. But as soon as you angle away and that sensor isn't directly facing the sun anymore, it's not going to tell you that it's all that light out. It's weird. It's amazing how quickly it works too. Like you can be sitting there staring at the weld, and then you just start welding, and all of a sudden that thing kicks on before you even see a flash. Yeah, it's awesome.
It is. That's crazy. My boss, all of the managers bailed on Monday. A couple hours after we got started, and they all drove down south. One of them had a big old RV, so they all loaded up in the RV and went down to watch it.
Cool.
Well, they all took pictures, but my supervisor was the only Android guy. Everybody else had iPhones. He was showing me yesterday. He's like, man, I got some great shots. I said, are you an iPhone guy? Are you an Android guy? I'm an Android guy. He's like, yeah, me too. It's like everybody else had iPhones, and they were taking pictures, and they all came out like blurry, and you just kind of make out a ring of light maybe a little bit, but you really couldn't get any really good, clear pictures. Like, check mine out. Check out these. I got like 5 or 6 just real good, clear photos. Like, yeah, that's pretty impressive. And he's walking away, and I did the Columbo thing. But, you know, Android, if you were to, say, shine a flashlight in a dark room at your phone, and Android's going to think you're trying to take a picture of the moon. So when you take your picture, it's going to come out. It's going to put details of the moon on that flashlight because it thinks you're trying to take a picture of the moon. So it's going to say, oh, you're trying to take a picture of the moon. Well, here's what you're supposed to be seeing. And it'll provide you a really cool looking clear picture of the moon that doesn't really exist because it made it all up. So there's a good chance all those eclipse pictures you took don't even really exist and they're all fake. He's like, Yeah, I guess I did hear that.
I know Samsung had that weird thing on both of their phones where you just take a picture of a white disc and it'll put a moon on there for you.
Uh-huh. That's why I said if the contrast is high enough, it'll think it's trying to take a picture of the moon and show you what it wants you to see.
It is messed up. Beyond messed up. Nintendo. An end of an era for Nintendo today. Well, Monday. When it comes to two of the company's legacy platforms, the Wii and the 3DS are shutting down online services. The Switch, though, will likely not see online services shut down at any point in the near future. There you go, Liz. That's what I was worried about. Oh no, is Liz going to be able to play Fortnite with us still? You're going to have to watch out for Liz now, Josh. She's been practicing. I jumped in there with her yesterday, and I was being a good target. Man, it's getting scary. Pulled out that sniper rifle. Better look out now. Yeah, it was. She could even tell she was getting better. She was like, "That was so good." I don't know. It was funny. She was like, She could tell she was doing better. You know, when she plays with her grandsons, they just search and destroy. You know, so she never really gets any practice in. But I let her see me, and then I shoot at her, and I run, and she chases me, and then I shoot at her and hit her, and then she runs, and yeah. It was fun. We had fun yesterday. I wasn't even planning on playing. I just jumped in to start making videos or editing. We got quite a bit of editing done yesterday. Well, 1:45, something like that.
Yeah,
Well, you out there that video editing know that 1:45 can take some time.
yeah, video editing's a pain in my ass. I wish I had a good video editor.
I'm using Champ Clips or whatever it's called. Clip Champ, the free one.
Right.
I'm not doing any audio on it or anything like that yet. I'm just making the video out. I don't know. I'm gonna hand it to Walter, I think. Do one of those neat things you do. You make videos. How do you do that? I can't do that. I don't know how he does that. He's got a gift, that's for sure. Oh man, Walter would have been loving this. There's Helldivers 2. New mission type.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Only 10 hours old. That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing. Some lame ass excuse about gallbladders or something. He's just out there playing.
Oh, that's good. What's this? Americans to get payment of up to $5,000 from 1.5 million data breach settlement pot. Two-step criteria they need to follow. Oh, thousands of art students are available because 156,700 students from Hope College in Holland, Michigan. Hey, wasn't Amagansett Press just in Holland, Michigan? I think so.
Not recently, I don't think.
I might have been watching an old one then.
I was gonna say,
I know I just one where he was in Holland, Michigan, and everybody was so nice for the most part. Of course, there was the one Karen or Darren or whatever, but for the most part, Holland seemed like a really cool place in Michigan. all the business owners were cool. They'd come, hey, how you doing? Yeah, come on in if you want. Oh, welcome to the town. Nice to meet you. Blah, blah, blah. That was like most of the interactions. Holland. So yeah, it says that they had their personal data compromised in a cybersecurity incident. The people from that school, students, $5,000? What kind of information did you give? It left students open to fraud without knowing the cause. Compromised sensitive information, including names, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, and student ID numbers. See, I mean, that's the kicker, isn't it? I mean, it's so nice having all this information at your fingertips, but what about the information you don't want at other people's fingertips and only your own fingertips? Is there not a better way to secure these things and not allow people into this stuff? Can it not be made hackable? Or can it not be made unhackable? I ask Jaron about this kind of stuff all the time. And it's very rarely that he brute forces anything. You know, like sets everything up on a thing to unencrypt a code or something like that. That's too time consuming. And it takes a lot of processing power. He did it one time, and it took, I think, 3 days with 7 computers running those 3 days. The whole time, nonstop. There was a lot of processing going on. And that was something that was kind of out of date. So he wasn't sure he was going to be able to do it. He was like, I'll give it a shot. But usually it's when they implement a new, like Twitch or Stream or Kick or all these new platform type things that start opening up. That's how they get through on, at least on Fortnite servers and stuff. It's not so much getting through and brute forcing into Fortnite system. It's using the links or the channels that these other places create to share with Fortnite and using their invulnerabilities to then get into, I don't know how they do it. I really don't. But there's got to be a way, I would think, to make it to where, you know, like you put a lock on a vault or something like that. And it can't be open unless, I don't know. I think most of it is humans, just humans being shitty people and giving away information they're not supposed to.
I'm sure there's some of that goes on. I think a lot of it's, well, humans, but like user error or overconfidence, a lack of understanding as to what the technology is and how it works and what they need to do to keep themselves safe. I mean, that's my biggest problem anyway.
Yeah, I just got a Jaron.
Lucky for you. I just got to survive on my wits alone. Trust me, that ain't easy.
We have hit the first break.
We certainly have. Tends to go a little bit slower when Walter's not here. But that's all right. We'll make do. I know we've got some people coming to hang out with us here in just a little bit.
Sweet.
So yeah, that'll be nice. Come chill, catch up. We haven't done it in a while. Meanwhile, we'll be right back. Here's a little NF and Hops In. Duet. We'll be back.
Look, self-awareness, project coating, yes, I like to wear it. Buttoned up, don't like to let no air in with a pair of gloves that I hope doesn't perish. I discovered though when I get holes in them and I let joy in, I'm in higher spirits. My mistakes are like a screaming parrot, just repeating lyrics. I can barely bear it when I'm lost. Road is narrow, I'm looking down it like a gun's barrel. Aren't we all searching for the serum that could help us breathe and leave our state of peril? All of us have made defensive scarecrows that we scatter around our fields and treat like heroes when they scare away the things that we should cherish. Cause we're too embarrassed to admit the fear is that we're lost. Yeah, but what does it matter? I get too combative inside of me. Is a person who canvas. The pain can be flat. I get messy when I start to get rattled. The heart of a savage and quiet when I lurk in the shadows. Something on that up. I don't want to be over dramatic, but look at the data. It's obvious that humans are fragile. We tend to get mad at the ones that call us out, but the fact is we need someone that'll be honest when we fly off that handle. I admit I throw a fit when I begin to unravel. Keep my wits spin off the grid, but now I'm back in the saddle. My intent is not to rant. I like to own what I value. I can take you on the fence and maybe pick up the paddle. I like to roll against the current. That's the way that I travel. Opposite of what the grain has got the brain of a rebel. Take initiative. I'm diligent on every level. I never can settle. I like to keep my foot in the pedal. Yeah, I love the back arenas and all, but what I really want to do is learn to handle my thoughts and put the reins on them, show them I'm the one that's the boss, and pull them back when they get out of hand and breaking their jaws. I'm taking the flaws and told me I can never revolve, then pull a bane on them, ask them, oh, you think you're in charge? You ought to know better, ain't no way around it. I'm flawed, the traits that I want, they say I can't afford what it costs, but I manifested this. Failing's how you grow and learn your lessons, kids. Take the worst and try to make the best of it, cause when you fail, just know that it's a test in it. You can learn to pick yourself back up again and train your brain to not be such a pessimist. It's okay to make mistakes, just don't forget that there's a high road, but I skip the exit when I'm lost. Yeah, when I'm lost. When I'm lost. When I'm lost. When I'm lost. Lost.
Wow, these burdens are heavy, and I'm hoping it don't bury me. I used to be joyful and skip so merrily, but now I'm too cautious and tiptoe carefully. My mind left, and it's nowhere to be found. Am I a big old parody? Cause it's no fair to me. And now I'm at the point where I'm spending $1,000 a week on hypnotherapy. Look, I'm trying to wash away my sins. I got a group of loved ones that ain't my friends. And if I ever take a nail, then they might grit. And they all wanna see me stay in the cage I'm in. So when it come to anybody, there's no trust for no one. Man, so what? My whole plan's to go nuts. My shoulder's ready for more drugs. I'm gon' judge anybody trying to enter my circle with no love. My sanity's gone, I'd rather be torn from this planet they planted me on. Yes, that's a reward. I'm actually bored with having it so hard. It's torn apart from a family that I don't have anymore. Now hold up. I was living so oblivious with millions. It really was a pity, huh? A pity. It's kinda funny what a penny does, mixed in with a mini buzz. I feel stuck. Life got me by the neck with a blade against it. Guess I was running late for the train and missed it. The only thing I feel is pain and vengeance. So I'ma act out like a raging misfit. And every verse I lay gon' stay sadistic. You wanna hate me? Good, great, terrific. You'll never see the day when my anger's dismissed. You better go and change your wish list, cause manifested this. Do not treat me like some adolescent kid. I am praying to the Lord with the book of James, hoping he go at my testament. This dark cloud, that's my residence. Demons knocking, I don't have to let them in. I done made mistakes day to day, you probably can't relate. I just ain't the same when I'm lost. Yeah. When I'm lost. When I'm lost. When I'm lost. When I'm lost.
Welcome back. Second half of the first half of the Ironworks kicking off right now. Good shit. Nothing like a little NF start the morning.
Yeah.
And Hobson. Hobson's good. He can be a little sensitive sometimes. A little moody.
A little moody.
But I still like his flow.
So do you see they're paying McDonald's workers in California $20 an hour?
Yes. So if you're, I think if you have over 600 employees or something like that, and if
don't Ed.
Well, this is one of those things. It's a St. Louis. It was a St. Louis-based company. It was originally called the St. Louis Bread Company, and they would sell soups and sandwiches and fresh baked bread and bagels and shit like that. They call it Panera. Was the original parent company,
mm-hmm.
and Panera was what they called it outside of Missouri once they started to expand. The St. Louis Bread Code doesn't really apply. Doesn't have the same marketing juice in, say, Arizona that a more generic name like Panera would have. So Panera was friends with some of the lobbyists there in California. And when they passed this $20 an hour raise for these fast food workers, Panera lobbied to put in some stipulations that says, if you're a fast food joint with those 600 plus employees across the country, you'll have to pay all those employees $20 an hour if you're in California, unless your company bakes bread fresh and then they sell that bread as a standalone item. If that's the case, now you don't have to pay them $20 an hour. You can pay them the $15 or whatever the national average for the minimum wage is. So
why?
Yeah. So say Subway, who will take and bake their bread and make their sandwiches and sell you a sandwich, has to pay their workers $20 an hour. But Panera, who takes and bakes their bread and makes their sandwiches and then also sells the bread plain, has to pay, doesn't have to pay them $20 an hour, can only pay them $15 an hour minimum wage. The why? That's what lobbying does. Because Panera can afford to wine and dine the lawmakers in California that's going to write these cool little exceptions for.
Yeah, I heard a guy that owns like 20 Paneras or something like that in California went to high school with Gavin Newsom.
Oh, wasn't that interesting?
Yeah. That helps when you got, demons in high places that you're buddy with.
David M. says $20 an hour in California is only $40,000 a year. Poverty level.
So messed up.
I'm okay with that. Good. I mean, if 40K is poverty level, I mean, that's pretty dumb. It just shows how outrageous that sunshine tax is. Because pretty much everywhere else in the country, 40K is a decent chunk of change.
Isn't it crazy?
And if it were 20K, I'd be okay with that too. Like 20K around the rest of the country. That poverty level. I mean, it's minimum wage. It's not meant to raise a family. You're not meant to take care of yourself. It's entry level bullshit position. They're not paying $20 an hour minimum wage to skilled workers. They're paying $20 an hour minimum wage to fast food workers.
Sure.
So you're 16-year-old. You're little kids. I don't get it. Maybe you're struggling or you're changing professions. You want to get into it. So you're just going to start working in kitchens and you just wanted to go work at some place that pay you $20 an hour minimum wage. That's cool, but it's going to be minimum wage. Maybe you can earn $50 an hour.
Yeah, what do they pay their
scrape by at $50 an hour?
Okay. Building trade have to be skyrocket prices,
right?
Those people.
That's what I'm saying. If $20 an hour is your minimum wage for a McDonald's worker, then if you've been there a few years, what are you getting paid $50 an hour to work at fucking McDonald's? I mean, come on.
Years ago, it was $18 an hour to start being a laborer. That is a shitty job. That's carrying cinder blocks and just cleaning shit up and, the low of the low on the totem pole out there in the building trade profession. That's electricians, iron workers, steel workers, all those bricklayers, all those type of people. You have your laborers. And they're the ones that, each one of those people, they get a few laborers to go with them on their jobs, and they're the lackeys. They're the ones pushing the, carrying shit around for everybody else. Like when you're roofing, you're humping shingles up a ladder. You get to carry the shingles up the ladder while the roofers lay they lay them down, all that kind of stuff. The shingles.
Or you're scraping them off, and while they're putting the new ones on, you're down below cleaning up the fucking mess.
That was $18 an hour for that job 20 years ago. And that was a union job. You were in, you weren't a journeyman yet. I think journeyman, you went up to, I think that was after like 9 months or something like that or whatever. I don't know if you had to pass the test to be a laborer or not. But you become a journeyman and you can work in other states and stuff like that. You didn't have to stay in your region. And you would get paid more for that because you could leave and go work other places. So to keep you there, you got a little bit of a raise. But that was still only like $24 an hour, something like that. And that was like a good wage.
Oh,
20
fucking yeah.
years
Sought
ago.
after. Like,
yeah.
People fighting for those jobs. Yeah.
It's turned down every year. You had to know somebody to get into one of the building trades, pretty much. Your dad, your uncle, your grandpa, a friend's dad, something like you had to be. It's kind of like the Masons almost, except you did apply for this. But a lot of people got turned down. The ones that got in usually had a family member or something like that already in it or knew somebody. But yeah, sought after jobs. $18 an hour. And now fast food workers here. This all happened in 20 years, folks. That's insane.
That is absolutely insane. Someone who probably has an idea, although he's still, I don't know. Somebody who knows what it's like to have to deal with the pay of the building trades and the skilled trades. Michael Bash. THC. How the hell are you doing, Mike? How was your eclipse? You didn't see anything? It was just a normal day for you?
Low wage trade skill. I definitely know that $12 an hour to be a plumber. In the trades, too, they take the lowest paid guy, teach him everything the highest paid guy knows, and then the highest paid guy sits down.
Oh yeah.
Your levels are just a touch low, Mike. Can you go up just a little bit?
What's that?
Can you go up just a little bit on your level?
How about that?
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like compensation for the work provided in America has never been fair, but we've accepted it because, just like the Matrix says, we're born into a system of bondage. We don't know any better until we get older and we have to scrape by just to get toilet paper and toothpaste and realize the system's jacked up, but it's too late by then.
And I think that's kind of where we are. When you're paying $3 for a Big Mac, and you're like, okay, well, we'll just pay everybody $20 an hour because that's a fair thing to do. Well, now your Big Mac's $6 and you can't figure out the fuck why. Well, I'm not paying $6 for a Big Mac. Why are they so expensive? Well, because you sold McDonald's that they had to pay their workers $20 an hour to do work that probably wasn't worth $20 an hour.
Now the salad's $18. So.
Right. You think McDonald's is going to eat that cost, or you think you are going to eat that cost? They'll just raise the prices. That's where it's across the board. Companies don't make less. They just charge you more or give you less. But they're not out to just see how many ways they can undercut their bottom line.
You guys know in OBS, is there a way for me to mirror my camera? Because obviously using virtual camera, I don't think there's an option in Skype. Have you had this problem before?
Sure. Well, you are appearing correct on screen.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. All right, cool. Yeah. It's funny too because I'm never up this late, and it's cool to see some of the rare people I get to see in the chat right now. But I woke up to the wife saying, "Stop kicking me." So I just ended up getting up and coming downstairs and getting on the computer.
Well, we're sure glad you're up this late or this early. Either way.
Yeah, man, it's great to hear from you and talk to you.
Yeah.
It's good to see your face lately. Always brings a smile, man. I wanted to say that too. Whenever I see your stream or the word Iron Realm, picturing Josh on my mind brings a smile, man.
Me too, man. Me too.
Thanks.
Yeah, we got to get you on one of these Friday nights again. It's been a minute, man.
Yeah, it has been. And, we barely do our show anymore. So it's, every 2 weeks or so, we want to do more shows. And I've got this new setup and everything so that we can do more shows. So, yeah, I'm ready now.
Did you ever find that female co-host you were looking for? I know you had one and lost, and you were on the search.
No, yeah, we're still on the search for the female co-host. It's tough because they're so rare. They're, few and far between. And then you're going to have to get somebody who can maintain the schedule of what streaming's like, because what seems to have happened, and even with myself being on like the Melodome and stuff, I realized, my other life has got so much stuff going on that I don't have time to give consistency. So, I give so much respect to people like you and Zack and people who dedicate so much time, because even in doing one show a week, it takes a lot of work.
And you wouldn't think it, but to commit to one show a week, to even commit and say, I will do it, one show a week. After about 3 months, you're like, Jesus Christ, I got to make sure I get this done. And pretty soon, even one show a week can become stressful, making sure you can plan your life around it and get everything set up and scheduled and prepared and ready to go and then do it. It's one of the reasons we're so laid back here, is because I don't think I would function under that much stress.
No, I got to do 6 shows a week now.
Yeah, that's crazy,
bro. Yeah, but and then you've got people like Jaron who can do it full time, make a good living off of it. There's different levels to it, and I'm clearly at the lower level, and but I'd like to work my way back up into that mid level, get a lot more content going. There's a lot to talk about these days. It doesn't ever dwindle away, does it?
And it's really just staying, stern and being there. Even though you don't want to do the live stream, how many mornings you wake up, Josh, and you're just like, fuck.
This morning, I didn't get out of bed till like 20 minutes after. My alarm goes off at 3, and I'm just like, fuck. I'll just chill here for a minute. I'll just rest my eyes. I'll be all right. Oh, fuck, it's 1:15.
Yeah, better get going. Yeah. For real, yeah. But, no joke, all you people out there in the chats, and you make it worth it. This isn't a job for Josh or I. We're not getting paid to do this.
Not at all. Not from YouTube. We have our Patreons, and that's amazing. Liz will drop some money on occasion in the PayPal just because I love her, and that's how she shows she loves us.
I 100% give away more in financial gain than I gain. I give away more. I do so much to just be a part of the community, and that's what my take is from it. It doesn't have to be a financial gain for some of us. Like you just said, you if it wasn't for the people in the chat, would you still be doing it? No, right? Nobody's watching, you're not doing it. So it's all for them.
Yeah.
It's all for you, Damien.
Sorry. Just as much for me, though. And for Josh, I'm sure this is
right therapy.
He's sane. Being able to come here and see all you people and just rant with Josh and Walt and just let it all out and not hold all this crap in. It's so important.
Not hold all this crap in. You said it perfectly, because look, I feel for those who can't. And I've always said that, and I was the low guy and didn't have a voice on YouTube or anything, and you didn't have anyone to talk to. I mean, do you remember that? It was tough.
Dude, remember before live streams, or there was live streams, but there was no live chat. Mm-hmm. So you watched the stream, and then you got into a war in the comment sections afterwards with Globers and stuff. I remember that back in 2015.
You'd have to watch your own stream.
Yeah, people didn't even have like a live chat. There was no such thing as a live chat. So you didn't get to hang out with people in the chats. You had to wait till afterwards, and then you all hung out in the comment section after the video. That was super lonely. But yeah, we have a community now. We have a huge community that's just growing and growing and growing every day. I started a Fortnite, FE Fortnite gaming chat in Dave's app. You got to join it, Mike. I'm trying to get a couple people joined it today, just out of nowhere. This is the first time I've even really mentioned it anywhere. But there was a couple people in there today saying hi and stuff. I was like, oh, cool. But the maps are done. I'm just working on the video now. So you got to come in there and play with this, Mike. I haven't played.
So down. I got a slight echo.
But yeah, the maps are looking. Yeah, I got you. I hear you.
I think he must have set his headphones down.
Check, Mike.
Yeah, he set his headphones down, I think.
Oh, Josh.
Yeah. But no, I'd love to, man. I got my first solo win the other day. I'm sorry. That's why I got this all straight up. Me and Chris Vick are trying to, take the streaming aspect of it, the entertainment value, take it over to gaming. This is something we do when we come home, after a hard day's work, and
huge community
Kick is offering a monetized, paying people, like we were just talking about this minimum wage thing. They're paying people $18 an hour to play video games. You can work at McDonald's for 20, or you can play video games for $18 an hour. So it's a different world we live in.
I have a Kick account now. I was thinking about going on there and streaming and just playing the maps, really. Just come on
living
and play.
In the days of OnlyFans and shit, it's like people can go online and record their feet and make money.
Crazy, isn't it?
There's no excuses anymore, pretty much.
Just sit there and show your feet.
Yeah, like, dude, you can take pictures of your feet if you're down and out.
So Walmart, do you see what Walmart's starting now?
No.
Subscription only self-checkout?
That I did hear about. It's like a membership thing where it becomes a bonus because they've had so much theft. And it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me. Like, if you want to use these robots, then you should pay extra for it. And then the company, they may not utilize it when people stop paying for it, or if they have a low budget for it and they put people back. This is what I've said. I said that there's going to become a time where humans are going to realize that they've put all these robots in place to do human things. And then what's the point of living? We're human to live, to do all these things, to experience all this shit. And then we're going to make something that's going to experience it for us or do it for us. It's going to get really boring.
Yeah, they've got so many people wrapped up in all these screens and everything that they think, I can just watch life. I don't have to live life. I'll just order my food. Why try growing
Watch someone
food?
else live life too.
Yeah. I have a garden and try to grow food when I can just sit inside and watch TV and have it ordered to my front door.
I mean, and I'll tell you what, I use DoorDash. I use my phone to tap pay, and it is super convenient. It's super fast. I see why people are doing it. But we do it. Like you said, we're going to move into this area where drones are dropping our shit off. I mean, they already have companies right now, I want to invest stock in. Walmart's a part of it. They've got car-sized drones that are lifting off from the Walmart factory and dropping it directly on your porch.
Just crazy, dude. Isn't it?
Crazy.
Taking out all the middlemen. Which,
that's a good way to put it, too, is that's what I've said. It's like they're trimming the branches.
It's worked great. You can trim that fat if what you're going to do is become leaner. Right. And then you pass the savings. Better. The savings you can then pass on to the customer. Where you pass all the cost increases, you got to pay $20 an hour minimum wage. Well, that cost increase just moves on to the customer. Oh, well, now I can only pay $15. Great. Did the prices come down? Fuck, no. You still pay $20 an hour minimum wage prices. Now the CEO of McDonald's just makes a few $1 million extra every year. So we can cut out all those middlemen, but the prices will continue to skyrocket because people are dumb enough to pay it. I don't think they realize, they say vote with your dollar, exactly what that means and how much of an implication and how much of an effect voting with your dollar actually creates.
Whoa, dude. So, it's a 40-piece chicken McNugget meal. Chicken McNugget meal, which also included 2 large fries, was $25.
It reminds me of they had like a Nicki Minaj meal or something where it was like 2 barbecue double cheeseburgers, 2 large Cokes, 2 large fries. And it's like, this is what we're promoting to the youth.
And they just put a whole
one meal. They're talking about they were selling this thing as one person.
The only thing that makes it a Mickey Minaj meal is they put a hole in the bottom of the cup. That way you get a what?
This stream is rated R.
Oh yes, I clearly mark our streams for YouTube that we are not for children. I mean, that's the exact way you get your shit shadow banned and make sure nobody sees it. But I think if I mark it for children and say shit like that, they're going to get busy. I have to just mark it and not say for kids.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Andrew. Hey.
Oh, no, man.
Hold on. Did I just hear that I could get diabetes and a heart attack for $25?
Did I just hear?
Plus
it's half diet, half regular. So you're not quite going to die, but yeah, you can get close. Right on the verge.
Hey, good morning, Mike. Hey, sign me up. Can I have more than one? Like, can I double that and get like a discount or something? Like with a McDonald's like frequent flyer miles kind of thing. That's what you see a lot now. You go to like one of those places and like the only place I go to that's fast food is Subway. That's it. But it's still, even then, it's just like
our Subway hasn't been good. Like the last year, we started going to, because that was like the only place we would go to too, was Subway. And then the bread just doesn't taste right, it seems. Like they changed something.
Well, it's better than it used to be. And I got a buddy that owns 2 Subway restaurants. And what he told me was about 5 years ago, roughly, Subway had to change their actual ingredients for their bread because someone found out that one of the main ingredients they used in the bread was the same thing that they used in, is that a Subway, sorry, a 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, man. Go ahead, because I want to say something about that.
Yeah, it was the same ingredient they used in yoga mats.
Yeah.
That's what they were using that in the bread. And I guess
that's
some
exactly
people found out
what I
about
want to say. Is that, as Zack said, like they had, it tastes different, right? Use your senses, man, because that's exactly what's happening. Everywhere you go, it tastes different. Everyone is cutting that bottom dollar, and the FDA is allowing whatever it is they're buying to become legal to buy. And it's just one chemical away, like we've always said about Dollar Store and Dollar General, from being cheese to being cardboard. It's so bad that I think that it's just technically not even 1% food anymore, or that it's like the Tic Tac, they're allowed to say sugar free because it contains less than what the FDA says that one item has to contain a certain amount of sugar to be called sugar free. It contains less than that amount, so they can call it sugar free, even though it's made of saccharin. It's made of sugar. So, these loopholes and things that these companies are using, and our trust level goes skyrocket. Like, what's up with the trust level? We take our food and everything, this energy that we're supposed to be using to heal ourselves, and we trust these companies that are making our food out of cardboard. Makes no sense to me.
And that's how they undercut that. And that's how they get all those profits, is because they just find the cheapest, nastiest fucking chemicals that they could pass off. What's the grossest fucking cheapest thing that we can get them to eat so that we can just fill all this stuff with this nasty shit and not actually
that the
invest
government will
in
tell us
ingredients.
it's okay for us to give them, even if it's not technically food.
Right.
As long as they allow us, even if the penalty, that's the Taco Bell motto. If the penalty for using grade D meat is less than the profits we make, oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't even call it beef filling anymore.
Filling.
They call it taco. Yeah. Get your. Oh, can I get a beef? Oh, no. You can get
something else really weird about McDonald's, like those chicken nuggets, and I'll give them every benefit of the doubt that those are fucking delicious if you don't know what's in it, but they call it mechanically separated chicken. What? They literally call it that.
And why do you think it tastes delicious? Is the chemicals they're using to manipulate your brain cells.
Oh yeah,
that's it's a science now. A science to make you want something that's not worthy of eating.
Yeah, they have people that actually go to college for this kind of stuff, and they work in like laboratories and try to figure out what the best sauce is and the best way to fry it in a certain amount of time and all that stuff. I don't go to that crap anymore. It's not worth it. It's not worth $25 for a lifetime of pain later on, or at least that night.
What did your parents feed y'all? It brings me back to the thought of all the banquet meals I ate and all the Kraft macaroni and cheese. I must have eaten thousands of boxes of Kraft macaroni and cheese in these microwave banquet meals, and my dad didn't know any better at the time. It was a different time, and they didn't have the internet. They didn't have free knowledge at the time. Some of us had that gap of YouTube where it wasn't censored. Now, of course, you can't find what you're looking for, but our parents didn't even have anything. They couldn't sift through the misinformation to find the right information because there wasn't any either. So I don't blame them. But one thing, you guys have that too.
Yeah, of course, like TV dinners and all that kind of crap.
Yeah,
is
TV
terrible.
dinners and all that terrible.
So Dr. Thomas Cowan, actually, one of the videos I watched, and I'm probably going to be switching my diet here in a very drastic way very soon. He said, don't eat anything that has a nutritional menu on it. You start to think about that. I was like, whoa, hold on a second. That's very, like, grow your own vegetables, slaughter your own animals, that kind of thing. But don't eat anything with a nutritional menu. I was like, starting to think about that. It's like, wow, that's so accurate. Because a lot of people throughout history and even today they don't even know what a nutritional label is.
And why do they need
it? Yeah, why would you? Go to the Amish. You think they know how many calories are in their beef? No.
They know what makes them healthy, and they keep doing it.
Yeah, if you want to eat beef, you have to slaughter that fucking cow by yourself.
And there goes my point earlier, the trust level. We're doing this to ourselves voluntarily. We walk into the grocery store and gonna buy this and gonna buy that. Don't care who made it. Don't care what's in it. We're in la la.
Yeah, they've got us so, we're being attacked on all fronts. It's not just the food, it's everywhere from every angle. People are more worried about protecting their children from all these predators at these schools trying to brainwash their children. Oh, you can be whatever you want to be. And don't worry, I won't tell your parents. All that kind of shit. These people should be arrested. I'm sorry. Messing with children. Oh, it just gets...
I think you're being a little too light on them there, Zach. Arrested is just the beginning.
But nothing's happening. That's the crazy society we live in right now. Everything is acceptable. You're allowed to be you, even if it hurts others now.
Luckily, I think that's going by the wayside. We've hit we're not at the bottom of the hour, technically, but we can take a little break. I've just freshened my coffee, but it's all right. Everybody else, hit the head. Do what you need to do. This is the IRONWORX. Freeworld.fm. We'll be right back.
Got a feeling I'm feeling this fine. From beginning to ending in time, I am just fucking around with these rhymes. They've been looking for someone that got it. I get to the station, I'm feeling the rocket in every word, but just landing the pocket. I crowd of these kids and they rocking on topic. I'm stupid, ironic, addicted to comics and trying to love, but I really been honest. I stepped to the mic and they looking astonished. I'm blazing the line like a primo of chronic. I'm feeling the shit in my soul. I'm trying to stay on my phone. Time ticking away and I know I only got one life to go. Start living it up, you can find me, get home on a Saturday night. It's not giving a fuck, I'm not feeling my cup of promethazine. That is a 7 that mixes some rebel and grenadine. Y'all don't be getting me right. I get fucked up with shit and they give you the bonus academy, but that's alright. I've been feeling just fine when they staying 100 feet from me like centipedes. We surfing Netflix, yo. I can never find a show. With my girl, we probably be fucking before we find one. Oh, that's alright, cause I would take some head over this club all day. And when the doorbell rings, it's the Domino's guy with pizza. Hey. Maybe I'm living the dream. Maybe I've been plugged in the matrix to sleep. These people always come with negativity and trying to rent some space up in my head. This ain't Airbnb. Either way, homie, I'm feeling blessed. So call me Elon Musk, I've needed space from every ex. You want my heart, but that shit will just stay inside my chest. I know that I was built from vibranium like Wakanda, bitch. Never been faking, I've really been taking the music. It's really a part of me, but I know getting a level to get what you shouldn't put up is like winning the lottery. What an economy, go between love and the thought of the money to drop in the quality just to make something the radio plays and we'll put in the face of the listener constantly. Whew, trying to keep me hidden, but they just afraid. You're locking me up in the box, but I'm Harry Houdini, ayy. You see, I've got it, but they push me out. I don't complain and treating us like Pennywise and keep us in these sewer drains. I'm pulling Georgie down, your homies pouring 40s out. The scene is filled with people getting fucked, it's more like orgies now. And I don't wanna be part of this mess, it's not what I'm about. So screw me up and take me to a different place like Dorothy's house. See, if I only had a brain and a heart, well actually the opposite will have you music on these charts. So fuck the wizard and the road, I'm leaving Oz. And maybe this is new religious rap cause I'm a motherfucking god. I'm jumping from nothing to something, I'm thinking they really don't know, ayy. But it's getting the top of the month and I'm bringing the happiest flow, ayy. See, latest don't get it, I'm bringing the party like I was a king. I get ready, get rocking the tools and I'm battling fools like I just threw up on mom's spaghetti. Yeah, too much sauce, too many bars, too many songs, too much love, too many stars, too many people feeling like there's nothing they relate to. Open my Spotify and play it, man, this is the breakthrough. Yeah, they said that white boy is wild dope, spitting venom like Eddie's alien symbiote. These other rappers talking Zannies, guns and fucking hoes. I'm trying to hit the park and skate a bit before I'm headed home. Yeah, maybe that's it. They all been asking how to get these people listening. See, they don't understand how music can be simple shit, just mixing in a little pop culture. I'm fucking Pickle Rick.
Turn myself into a pickle, Morty. Boom.
I'm a
Big review. I'm a pickle. I'm Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick.
Wow, dude, I honestly, I don't even know what we're doing at this point. This is too much.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there. So what one? There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. You're listening to Iron Realm Media. I listen all the time, and it's the best truth show out there. Forget about the mainstream lying. Get your weekly dose of iron. Realm, that is. Stay woke, folks.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Welcome back. Where the fucking thing sucks. IRONWORX, free world. Where, fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
Look. Little Pickle Rick for you. From the rapper Echo. E-K-O-H. Echo. Bringing that heart hop.
Oh.
That was one of my favorites from him, for sure.
People were dropping it in the chat if you could share that one.
For sure.
What was the one from earlier? The first one.
The very first one I did?
Very first song.
The one about the angels? That was Luke 2, 8:10, I think is the name of the song. I have to look it up. It's Tyler Childers. You're talking the country music one?
I think so.
Yeah. Pretty sure that was. I'm not so hep on my scripture, but the one about the angels coming and what it would be like to see an angel. And how you'd probably just freak the fuck out.
But what is an angel? What is your depiction? You know, it's funny how what I envision God to be has molded over the years since I was a kid. You know, what is your depiction of an angel? What do you see when you say that?
A harbinger. I see someone coming down to do something that, you know, needs to be done, but probably isn't the greatest thing for if it's going to be done to you. You know, the way I see angels is they're God's tools. They're God's, you know, enforcers. They keep this place going the way it's supposed to and all that kind of stuff. They're, you know, I don't know. It always seems like when an angel actually comes down, if you see an angel in like its true form, it's usually not a good thing. That's just mostly from movies and books and stuff like that I've read. It could be the exact opposite. It could be the greatest experience of your life. But usually it's like to come down and, you know, teach a lesson of some sort or right some wrong that's been done somehow. I don't know. Yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I've always felt like angels despise us. And I could be totally back-assward. I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't that kind of go hand in hand with that movie Dogma, where the angels are kind of resentful of humans, in a sense, because we have free will and they don't, or something like that?
That was definitely part of the plot line in Dogma, for sure.
Even though there's a comedy spin on it, those movies are quite interesting.
Yeah. That movie's, what, late 90s, I think, right?
Such a good movie. Back when movies were real, when they put effort into it.
Yeah, I think that was George Carlin's last movie, by the way.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, well, Buddy Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Damon.
What does it go? It's like,
Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
yeah, I can't speak on the Bible a whole lot, but, you know, I did get raised in a certain type of religion when I was growing up, even though my parents quickly backed away from it. And that was Mormonism. Because they found out that it was a bunch of nonsense, and they basically stopped us going to that church and completely shut it off entirely. But everyone has a different outlook on it. Every religion does, whether you're Muslim, Jewish, Christian, whatever else. It is a different dynamic for everyone. Now, I can't say that angels exist, but I would definitely bet my entire life that we were created by an intelligent being of some sort. I'm not going to call it a him or a her or God. Then I'm just guessing at that point. No one really knows because we've never met the creator or creators. It's a weird dynamic and dichotomy to try and get into. Sorry, I wasn't trying to get all dark about that one or theological.
I know one person who's really, really read, you know, the Bible and gone through it, and like he went to the extremes of learning Hebrew and trying to find it written down in the Hebrew text and reading
Skiba?
that. No, just Jack.
Oh, that guy's awesome.
that
Yeah,
stuff?
I hung out with him in Vegas.
I hung out with him in Vegas too.
Yeah,
That guy's so awesome.
Did some activism down there on Fremont.
I spent 6 weeks with him and his family, and I built him a big. It was like 70 by 40 foot permaculture garden. It was awesome. Then they lost that land and they had to move to a different place, so that garden's gone. But while I was doing that, he was teaching me Hebrew, and we were going through scripture and stuff like that. It was awesome, dude. But even like, you know, Genesis, Elohim, when, you know, there's a word for the creator, it's Yod He Vav He, or the 4 syllables in Hebrew. Some people say Jehovah. You know, there's all kinds of names that you can, because there's no vowels in Hebrew. But Jehovah is the name of the Creator in the original written verse Bible. If Hebrew's the original, and that's, you know, Jehovah's his name. And then it also talks about the Elohim. Now, in all the Bibles we read, those two words are changed to God and Lord. But Elohim is a plural. It speaks of multiple people. And it's that the Elohim created man in their image, not the creator. Almost like we weren't the first ones here, and someone else created us in their image.
You know what that sounds like? Is that movie Prometheus? You guys ever seen that?
Love that.
And then he said later on, it goes to talk about how that's what our goal is here. It only mentions the Elohim like a couple more times. And when it talks about them, it says that's what we strive to be like the Elohim, pure, good. Yeah.
If you look at the layers of Earth, I think it's just dumb to think we're only a couple thousand years. You know, they say they can pull cavemen, blah blah blah, but
Oh, like the Piltdown Man and stuff like that. Yeah, I think a lot. You got to be careful with that stuff. I mean, like Lucy, the whole story about that one. I think a lot of this stuff is definitely interesting, but I don't think it's worth taking a whole bunch of credit into and trying to learn about it to the point where
I've had to put zero trust into that. After what we've found out, and after what we know what they do with the stories and the history, you know, how can I trust any man telling me anything, especially when it's on mainstream media?
Tolkien went to his deathbed saying that his books were more accurate than any history we've been given. Are the Elohim?
That's where I say where our trust level goes. Like, how do we back up this stuff up? Just by adding another book that says the same thing? Because that's how the Bible works, right?
Makes me think, are the Elohim the elves in the Tolkien books? The ones who left to go to the
etymology plays a big role, and when you have like words that sound similar, that a lot of times does make a connection.
Yeah, it's wild to think about. And even in those stories, if you go back and watch those old Lord of the Rings stories, like it goes over thousands of years. They talk about, you know, who is the bad guy, Sauron or Saruman, or I forget who the head bad guy was.
That's what always fucked me up in those books too, because it's Sauron. That was like the eye in the sky kind of situation. That's Sauron, and Saruman was the wizard.
Yeah, the wizard that turned. Yeah.
Yeah, the betrayed Gandalf. Or sort of, yeah.
But even in those books, Sauron was gone for like ever before he came back. It was mythology to the people that were alive.
Thousands of years.
Thousands of years. They didn't even believe that it was mythology. It was Zeus and stuff like that to us today. So yeah, it's wild to think that what if there were 6 upright walking beings, different types of intelligent beings that lived here at one time, like a lot of the books that were removed from the Bible talk about. The serpent
Extinction is a real thing too, you know.
Yeah.
You could really, one species could kill off another, whether it be an intelligent or an animal or what that we categorize as. We could have wiped out civilizations and not known about it.
What if some of these ancient structures we find weren't built by man or alien, but other beings that were here?
Yeah, dude, I was just about to mention that, Zach, because we have different places like pyramids, Machu Picchu. What's the other one in Jordan? Petra. These are monumental things where some people kind of still live around them, but no one really knows who built them, and they're not really used for anything other than just looking at now.
I've recently heard new theories on the pyramids being laid on the magnetic lines, and that they were gathering energy through magnetism, not through like the sun or these other theories, but they were just They were all placed perfectly to gather the Earth's energy. That's how they used to power. But
well, yeah, so much of the grid system, you look from above and look down, and it looks like a computer chip. Like a city almost look like a computer chip.
Those cities and stuff.
Yeah, and certain buildings are always shaped the same. And like
for sure, so they have the same use.
Yeah, it's weird. It's crazy. I don't know.
I don't even know where we started. I love how we can just serpentine down truth road. Never end. What
No,
was
it never
I was
gets
gonna say
boring.
earlier? What before we get too deep into that, on topic of something that's fresh in modern news is what are y'all's thoughts on these solar flares? Everyone's taking a picture of the moon passing the sun, and there's a solar flare sticking out. Now, when have you ever seen a flame last more than a millisecond? How are we looking at a flame that's static?
Well, I think they call them magnetic solar flares, so it has more to do with like an arc, because I can go get my Jacob's ladder and show you an arc that occurs for as long as I want it to occur until my machine goes
Does
bad.
it look like a flame?
Well, it can.
It looks like a plasma, kind of like a lightning strike almost.
Yeah, well, it's just an arc that goes back and forth between two electrodes. It's 15,000 volts.
But how can something that's as much energy as the sun have things that are? How could a solar flare be static? That's really tripping me out, and I'm losing sleep over it.
Well, I wouldn't trip about it too much, because whether or not it's 93 million miles away or not, it doesn't really matter. It's the fact that we can see it happening, and there's somewhat of an explanation I can give you, and that is when you see an electrical arc, what you're actually seeing is you can't see electricity. It's sort of like saying you can see sound. You just can't do it. You can see the effect of sound, you can see the effect of electricity, but what you're seeing is the ionization of the air molecules between two electrodes, essentially, like lightning as an example. So when you're actually looking at an electrical arc, you're seeing the oxygen molecules like that are currently where you're at, versus if you take like a hit off of a bong and blow it through that same thing, it's going to change color.
Now what you're talking about is the same as if I go into Spencer's and they got the little electric ball, the little wizard ball with the electric that goes up, like the little Tesla ball. The same thing, right? If I go and touch one, that little arc's going to stay there, but the electricity is not static. The plasma's not static. It's jumping, it's moving, it's constantly fucking doing something different to get to my finger. It's not just a single stream flow, straight line, just like we see on the edge of the sun. But on the edge of the sun, it's sitting still for more than 10 seconds straight. Like, I don't get it. How could it possibly be static?
Yeah, it can be hours. Yeah. No, and this isn't new. I mean, I've seen these on regular days, not during eclipse days, but looking through a hydrogen alpha double stack filter. Yeah, you can see the flares coming off the sun.
I have to go get my footage of that.
It is so cool, dude. Because I didn't really even believe in solar flares until I finally saw them.
That's what I mean. I didn't understand what they mean by that. And how can you explain that without recreating it here? You can't tell me what's going on up there without showing me here, right?
Yeah, not until I saw it through a scope. It was Chris Van Matre scope, somebody I know and trust, and I held mine. We had multiple cameras out there with filters, and we were looking, but his, like, the sun has cracks on the surface. It's great, dude. I wish I had one of these filters so bad.
Why do you think my theory that the moon is a burnt out sun? These sunspots are the beginnings of craters. There's cracks in the sun. You see the lines on the moon. I'm telling you right now.
The sun. It's crazy looking, dude. Yeah, I want one of those filters.
Those filters, right? Yes.
Expensive, dude. They're expensive.
Really. I have the P950. I'm ready to spend some money because I surely want to get some more footage of the sun, but I don't want to ruin my camera now that they're discontinuing the cameras for civilians, right?
Yeah, the P1000 is going away. They're done making it.
They don't want us to know. Why would they do that?
Hey, so
didn't Nikon just take a contract with NASA?
But that's why. The Artemis moon mission, they partnered to get the dark side of the moon. That's their motto. Is Nikon's now doesn't have time to put into civilian cameras because they're going to be working on the dark side of it.
Well, they had to do something because they were, even though they're selling a lot of those, a lot of their other cameras, they're not. I mean, the Nikon's are great for zooming in, but it's not like a great camera for taking good, clear, crisp photos like the DSLR or something like that. It's different. It's a point and click. The sensor on it is like half the size of all those other sensors. So it doesn't grab as much information as a lot of the other cameras.
I had bought the Panasonic FTZ or whatever it's called because it was named the #1 camera, and it took me a long time. I was like, I want to get good footage of flat Earth. I want to go use this laser, and I want to do an experiment. And within finding out, like you're saying, is that the P950 is the only high zoom camera, though, the only manufacturer of a civilian high zoom camera without spending $15,000 on a lens for a studio camera.
Yeah.
And like you said, they're partnered with. I didn't know about their less production sales, and that's why they've had to do this maneuver. I didn't think about that.
Ken Wheeler talking about that. Yeah, he said that Nikon's been in trouble for the last couple years.
Makes sense.
So yeah, it doesn't shock me. Companies want to stay in business, get in bed with the devil.
Take away like their highest selling camera though. So even if they were having problems, like discontinuing some other cameras would have made sense, but not their highest selling product.
Yeah. The best zooming optical camera in the world.
For zoom, for farthest zoom, stability picture, it's got to be #1, right? So yeah, it doesn't make sense.
So when I got my P900, I was talking to my coworker he's an amateur photographer where he, like, when he's not doing like electrical kind of stuff, he does photography work. And he's been doing it for a very long time. And he asked me why I bought that camera. Well, I told him, I told him about flat Earth and all that kind of stuff. He still thinks I'm crazy, but he said, yeah, because it has an optical zoom of a certain amount. He said, no, you can get another camera. You can put just like extension lenses on, and it can get to a higher resolution optically than that. And I was maybe start to think about it because yeah, they cost a bit, but you can just get these additions for cameras, and it causes them to get like turn into like a mini telescope essentially.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is the stabilization. It has to have the program inside of it to stabilize the digital zoom.
Yeah,
like when I take a picture of the moon, if I tried to use a normal camera and just by putting a lens on it, it would be slightly blurry because of the distance that it's taking it at. So the camera is like sort of recording and then digitizing the picture back to stabilized, like seconds. It's recording 4 and 5 seconds before before you take the picture, so that it can.
Oh yeah, I get that, and he's shown me some of the pictures he's taken. He does a lot of like very high resolution. He also uses like Photoshop and stuff for a lot of his pictures afterward. But he showed me a picture of something like I think it was a hummingbird or something that he took, where he actually got it to in such a motion where you could see it. It looked like it was hovering in the air. Anyways, well, he showed me you can do that with a digital camera nowadays. And yeah, it does take a little bit of photo editing to clean up the picture and stuff afterward, but I don't know what the stabilization part of it has to do with.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Was the hummingbird 12 miles away? Because that's what
it was very, very, very far away. Is what he told me.
Like, because that's what I'm talking unprecedented distance.
I'm talking about. Well, I don't know exactly how far. I'm assuming at least 100 feet.
I'm talking miles. Like like I said, I can digitize the surface.
Well, you can't do it miles because that goes over the curve of the Earth.
True. It's the refraction of the light, bringing it back up into my vision perfectly straight so that the light is
Yeah, it's still aiming down, but it's aiming up at the same time. You guys ever think about that? The whole refraction thing? It's like, oh no, it always refracts down. Yeah. Wait, hold on. How is it in my eyesight?
How is it in my eyesight? Because it's going to find the shortest path, Andrew, don't you know?
That brings us up to the third and final there, Josh.
Yes, sir, it does. We are right on it. So, we will be taking a little break. We'll be back on the other side. This is the IRONWORX here on freeworld.fm. Stick around. We do have more time, another 30 minutes coming up right after this. Little Sleeping Sun, name of this tune for you. Shout out, Liz. Much love.
I hold my life for wishes. I behold my nights, the truth at the end of time. Losing faith makes a crime. I wish for this night time to last for a lifetime. The darkness around me shows off solar sea. Oh, I wish to go down with the sun, sleeping, weeping with you. Sorrow has a human heart. From my God it will depart. I'd sail before 1,000 moons, never finding where to go. 222 days of light will be desired by a night, a moment for the poet's play, until there's nothing left to say. I wish for this night time to last for a lifetime. The darkness around me shows off solar sea. Oh, how I wish to go down with the sun, sleeping, weeping.
You have stolen my dreams, my childhood.
All seems the same.
Welcome back. But I gotta say, it's right. Auto insurance does all seem the same. Sorry, go ahead, Zack.
Have you ever stolen someone's dreams in childhood?
I saw she just got arrested again recently.
Oh, did she?
What a trooper.
It did seem.
You know you're 21 now. It might have been cute when you were like 15, sitting in the middle of the road, taking up people's time. stopping them from getting them where they need to go. You're an adult now. You're 21. Act like it.
Get a job.
How dare you?
Hey, so I did want to announce real quick here to everybody.
How
because
dare
I think it's
you?
going to be I was teasing at it last week, and not everyone got to hear me say it because it wasn't confirmed yet. But the next trivia we're doing is going to be for Austin Whitsitt. So that is confirmed. And the contestants.
Zach, you might have to mute up. For some reason, we're getting a little slapback from you.
Yeah, a little.
Okay.
Little
What'd you say is for what's going on with Whitsitt?
We're going to do the next trivia for charity for him. Because he's having his baby girl, and he needs a little bit of financial help right now. So, and babies are not cheap.
He's just popping them out. Boy.
Yeah, he's at a good age, too. I think he's, 30 now? 31? Roughly?
30.
Right on. And I think Kai is a little bit younger than him, so yeah, it's a good time for them. But yeah, if you guys after the stream ends, I don't want to make a huge announcement about it yet. I will tell you who the next two contestants are going to potentially be, but I still have to confirm. They both pretty much said yes, but they haven't confirmed just yet.
Awesome. Yeah, I heard Whitsitt is going to be going on to InfoWars here soon to debate somebody, and I saw that from an InfoWars telecast or whatever. Robot Polisher made a video, and they were talking about Whitsitt on the InfoWars show. And one guy said, "Yeah, I'll debate him." He has no idea what he's getting himself into.
Yeah, I wouldn't debate against Austin on any subject.
I wouldn't debate Austin if he was defending the globe.
Yeah, that too.
For real. I mean, he knows both models that well, that he knows all the arguments, all the sticking points, what can be proven, what can't be proven.
I think that's the only way someone can debate flat Earth anyway. Is you had to get here from the other indoctrination. So if you don't know that model that you're claiming is not true, but
yeah, you have to be able to. This new term that people have been throwing around a lot lately is the steelman argument, which basically means that you have to understand your opponent's position well enough to the point where you can regurgitate it to them in order to say, yes, that's what you agree with. Okay, now I'm going to argue on that point. So a lot of people are failing to do that when it comes to just basic conversations nowadays. You don't understand where the other person's even coming from or their point of view.
That's where Whitsitt comes into play. Is if you're willing to debate the guy and you don't understand the level at which he's discussing, you don't belong there. There's nothing you can talk about.
Well, and that's the beauty of the Socratic method, is when you understand both sides, you can really start to formulate the questions for somebody else that's going to help them, because you know what the answer is. So when you ask them, you know they've got to formulate that answer in their head. So you ask them these questions, it's going to even internally lead them down these series of steps, that if they're honest and it's an actual engagement of conversation and they're not just going to climb up and they're willing to steel man your argument and not willing to straw man it, then you can actually get this going. But that's the beauty of that Socratic method, is learning how to ask questions that will engage thought and furtherance of a conversation.
In a lot of these debates, I don't see anyone ever laying down either. Everyone puts up that wall and sticks with it. I don't ever see anyone saying, you know what, you're right, you got me there. Or, yeah, I don't know about that topic, I'll have to secede on that one. I don't see any like common ground, I'd say. Like no one, there's no agreement where, what's the debate for if we can't, who's winning this debate? Like I never see any yeses.
Right. Or we're coming to this debate to try to trim that fat. We're going to come here and take this metal and purify it through the heat of a debate, through the fire of this debate. And we're going to do it honestly, an intellectually honest way. And if I don't know something, I'm willing to admit that I don't know it. If you make a point that I can't rebut, then I'm going to have to concede that point, and that's because it's the truth. And that's what I'm interested in, not pushing my ego out there. And
ego.
when
Yeah,
my
right.
ego gets offended, learning to stifle it, learning not to react when my ego gets offended and be like, oh yeah, I guess that's the truth. Like, point conceded. Yep, you're right, man. You got me there.
That's what I'd like to see, is some sort of point system. You know, I need, if a moderator, you know, I guess you can't fact-base the point system, but somehow the other side needs to say, I don't understand. I just don't ever see any, like you said, you need to trim the fat. The disinformation comes from debates like that as well.
Mhm.
So having someone like Witsit, extremely advantageous to our side.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, Witsit is on Discord pretty freaking often, and he's just as sharp when just random people are talking to him as he is when he's actually prepared for a debate or something. He's, yeah, a huge fucking hat tip to that gentleman. He's as sharp as, well, anyone that I've ever met.
That's what I say about the side too. Is for their speaker.
So I'm not sure if people talked about it yet. So I joined in a little bit late, but the eclipse. I know people have probably talked about it quite a bit, but I didn't see anything significant out of it at all. I mean, there was some people that got like a total solar eclipse. They saw it, like Melodome, and then Run Boston Bear also did a pretty good job at it because they didn't have a totally cloudy sky like a lot of people had. But I don't know. I just didn't see anything significant out of the whole thing. And I was hoping something weird was going to happen. Like all of a sudden the cicadas would come out the very same day and like CERN would create a black hole.
Didn't they shoot? What happened with the rockets? Do we have any information?
Oh, the sound
on all
rockets
that
too,
stuff?
yeah. I was hoping at least one of those would blow
The
up.
3 rockets that were named after serpents. Like what? That's
Oh, were they?
just weird. It's so weird what they name half the crap they name. It's always after some deity or god or goddess or
So my theory about that is that they were trying to launch them up. This is according to their like official narrative, I guess, is that they were looking for invisible particles.
how are you gonna find them if they're invisible?
Well, I don't know. They might have been trying to look for Rahu and Ketu. Who knows? You have to think about it like that. Maybe they're trying to go into the deeper aspect of really understanding what an eclipse is, rather than the moon blocking the sun, or the moon blocking. I'm sorry, the Earth in between the moon and the sun.
Half the community says there is no moon. That there's no moon before and after the eclipse. Is it just a black circle in the sky that covers the sun, or is the moon traveling in front of the sun? I believe you can put a filter on it and watch the moon, but they say you can't see it. You can't see this stuff with your naked eye because of contrast. But can you use a filter? Does anybody have any footage of the moon approaching the sun?
That I've seen.
Isn't it supposed to be in Pisces? Where are we at with all this confusion?
Yeah, it's in Pisces right now. But I was wondering about the image that was supposedly taken where you could see the moon through the eclipse. Have you seen the images that are going out on that?
Some people fake them, but I've never.
Well,
I mean, that's considered like the holy grail of photography.
Yeah, they were talking about it on Earth Awakenings yesterday about somebody who was like stacking photos of the eclipse, and they were able to get the image of the moon over the eclipse. And I'm like, well, then why didn't they do that when it was approaching? Like, show me those.
Yeah, it's never been done. with no type of camera. There's all kinds of them, you know, even the sound ones, the ones that go by sound, and they don't see the moon approaching. But yeah, it's weird. Now, when the moon is a new moon, does it ever occult stars as it goes by? Shouldn't we be able to see it blocking stars, even though we can't see the light? I know it's daytime, but aren't there ways to see stars during the day as well? I've never really tried that. They say you can do it with a cardboard tube, even. If you block out enough of the light, you can see stars during the day. I know miners supposedly said they could down coming up the shaft. You know, like the straight down vertical shaft. They'll be coming up like an elevator lift type thing. And they're looking up, and they can see the stars that are right above them because the rest of the light is being blocked out. I've never seen that during the day. I don't think I've ever been in that situation.
Are you talking about the eclipse?
No, just like stars, regular stars. The ones that are, they say you can see them during the day.
At any time, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, you can't be looking right near the sun, of course, but as long as you block out enough of the light, they say it's possible. I don't know. I've never been in that position.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about seeing it during the daytime. The thing that I find interesting, though, is that the new moon was yesterday evening. So I have pictures from people on Facebook that caught the moon for me because I'm under clouds right now in Tennessee, so I can't see anything. So the thing that was surprising to me was that we saw the moon yesterday. I was thinking that we were going to see it today. So I'm going to have to start logging these hours as best I can because I think that something's off by a day as compared to last month.
Yeah, I don't know. The sky's a fickle mistress.
Absolutely.
Well,
and to try to understand the three-dimensional model, it takes a different brain. I'm not saying like that the average person can't see three-dimensionally, but like how it all moves and parallax and based on your position and trying to exclude the globe model out, the flat model. It is a difficult one. It is a very
Yeah, and be on such a grand scale, and we
yeah, I
don't.
mean that was part of the. Oh, sorry. I thought you. Sorry, I thought you. No, I'm sorry. You stopped talking on my end, so I didn't mean to talk over you.
You're good. I'm done.
But basically, what I was doing for the like 3 days up to the eclipse was I was watching where the moon was, and I could see that it was moving through Aquarius for 3 days, and then it would go into Pisces on Sunday, and then you'd have 3 days in Pisces. So it's 10 degrees per day, but that's along the azimuth. You also have to then move it on the other axis, which draws it closer to the sun. So it was just really interesting to see how that dynamic works. So I don't have a problem right now per se with saying that it was the moon, but because we saw the moon yesterday, a day after the eclipse, which means, in my opinion, that we were a day behind on the calendars allegedly. So it's just really, really interesting to think these things through, I guess.
It's super interesting because now don't forget we're on the crappy calendar, right? We're not on the lunar calendar. We're not on this 13-month calendar that they used to go by.
Oh, right. But that's why, in my opinion, I'm kind of like just doing base natural observations by letting the moon dictate which phase she's in by showing me which phase she is in,
Right.
and how many.
No, that's what I'm
phases
saying.
she has.
Yeah, exactly. Like I wish we were on the lunar calendar or something that was stuck in place and more normal without this leap year thing.
Yeah.
February's got 28 days, and this, very strange. What's your opinion about not seeing the moon during the new moon, or about the
Uh,
eclipse on the approach on the eclipse, approach and exit.
yeah, I'm tend to lean toward the polarization of light. That these are just simply
Contrast.
some sort of contrast in frequency or energy, however you want to describe it. But it's going to be the same thing. Like, imagine what I imagine right now is happening with the moon. If you can be in a place that they look out west at dusk, the moon is going to be 15 minutes later in the sky. So whatever, it's going to be about 30 degrees up in the air.
Right.
In the afternoon, you won't see it. Look for it midday. You won't see the sun or the moon. Look for it at 1 o'clock. You won't see it. 2 o'clock. You won't see it. 3 o'clock. You won't see it. When you get closer to dusk, it's like the sun is taking its light with it, and it's like the cloaking device being removed from the moon. If it gets far enough away, all of a sudden the moon will just appear.
And the question is how are we not seeing a half crescent or a tenth of a crescent on its approach, and then the crescent change or deplete as it approaches? Why
Well, you are going to be able to see that more and more because the moon is moving into the night at this point. So it's showing up later and later and later in the day. Because last night it showed up right at twilight. So tonight it's going to show up after twilight. And then the next day it's going to show up after that. And it's farther and farther into the evening. So we're going to have a more visible, vibrant crescent waxing phase as it moves towards full moon. So I don't know if you know this or not, but as I'm describing the moon spending its time in the nighttime sky, that means that we just got done with the moon spending the majority of its time in the daytime sky. If you move the clock backwards, you're going to go back about 7 to 10 days. And those 7 to 10 days, the moon has been in the sky during the day. No place on Earth has had the moon at night for the past 2 weeks.
Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know what the moon or the sun or the stars are. No clue. I appreciate them. The sun more than the others, I must admit. Not that I just do. When it comes around, I feel relieved every single day. After that, the day's gravy. It may taste good, it may taste bad, but it's just gravy. As long as that sun comes around, it's a good day. The moon, the stars, I don't pay as much attention to.
Yeah, well, I'm going to start doing it however this leads. Like, so right now I'm doing a deep dive on the moon. So who the hell knows where this is going to lead me? But, the one frustrating thing that I'm feeling right now is the fact that I'm under clouds. So I can't make these observations on the daily. You know what I mean? And so
that's what stopped me from studying. I was 8 months deep on the sun. I tried doing the sun and moon right near the beginning, but I realized that was retarded because you can't. You either watch one or the other. You can't set time for both of them. You're going to be up all day, all night. It doesn't work. So I picked the sun, and then in northern Indiana, come about late October, starting in November, you don't see the sun pretty much for months. You'll see it here and there, a break this day, that day, a couple clear days. But for the most part, we get lake effect clouds and snow. So all that warm water in Lake Michigan is evaporating, just creating cloud cover right there. So yeah, it only took me like 3 weeks into it, and I think I got 2 or 3 days in those 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, I'm done. There's no point in just going out, looking around and saying, yep, can't take a picture. Yep, can't take a picture. So it kind of broke me.
Yeah, I could totally get how that would be discouraging.
It was a great 8 months, though. I'll say that much.
Well, see, there you go, man. Right? You just got to get to it. Yeah, you just got to get to a place where you've got clear skies as much as possible and do it again.
Then go to Colorado, dude. Clearest skies in the country. Yep. 300 days plus clear skies. It's crazy there. It's weird.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Hey, how far away do you think you can start looking for the Rockies if you're headed west?
I saw them. I swear. Say I'm crazy, but I was in the Texas Panhandle right before I got into New Mexico, and I don't know if I was on some elevated something or other, but I didn't take a picture. Had the camera there, but I just thought, that was normal, that you could see the snow-covered peaks from that far away. And then I was talking to people, and they're like, "No, that's way too far. You shouldn't be. Are you sure you weren't looking at New Mexico mountains?" But none of the New Mexico mountains were tall enough for snow cover at that time. So I don't know. I swear I saw them from Texas, Colorado Rockies. I don't know. And then
Yeah, but how far away? What's the mileage on that? How you think?
I'm not even sure. I haven't really looked it up. I know coming from Nebraska, I don't think I saw them from Nebraska because you're going like up the hill, and I came over a hill on, I think it was I-25. I was taken down into Colorado, and you come up over this hill when you're already in Colorado, and then they just all appear, and they're huge and grand, and yeah, you don't lose sight of them ever again. But from the south, I think you could see them from places. I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
You know, at
Well,
mountain
don't
range,
forget-
I'd like to go see the Grand Tetons again, man. Those things are pretty rad.
Seen those. Jay Tolan Media has had his infrared camera up in an airplane where he's able to see things that are like 1,000 miles away, which should be, even at the airplane's elevation, shouldn't be possible. Which
Hey,
is, I
have you
think
guys-
it's pretty cool.
Have you guys seen that kerfuffle that's going on over at Jay Tolan's? People are thinking that he got hacked or something like that because he's made 2 videos that are just really off. It's almost like, in my opinion, they got an AI narration of him because he doesn't sound the same. He sounds like himself, but he doesn't. Really interesting. His last 2 videos, people are just like, "Who are you? What's going on?"
Yeah, I haven't seen those, but if that did happen, well, it really sucks because that would. I mean, if someone got a hold of any one of our voices and just like got a hold of our internet account or something, yeah, they could fuck with you to an extreme level. Or it was actually him. I mean, there's probably one of the two. I can't imagine him suddenly doing anything crazy like that. But it's about to end here, so I'm going to shut up.
We are down to the last couple.
AI is so good, they only need like 5 or 6 words to create your entire being. That's a little scary if you put it in the wrong hands.
Right.
Hey, are Chris and Austin going live soon, or what's Chris doing here? What are you doing here, Chris?
It's a good question. A real good question. Normally, if they were going live, at least one of them would be in the chat right now, so it's hard to say. Maybe they're just taking the week off. I'll allow for that possibility too.
Yes, I do believe that Austin is still in Indiana, so he's not planning on doing anything until he gets back.
Or maybe for that reason, Chris is double focused on getting the show ready and not being in the chat. And he'll go live just as soon as we're done here. Hard to say.
Join them over there.
Well, obviously you've already subscribed and hit the bell notification, so YouTube's going to do its ever-loving best to make sure you get notified if they do go live, or Chris goes live by himself. Because YouTube loves
No,
and
Chris will never
appreciates
be live by himself. He's got lots of people that would join in.
Well, I guess we'll just call that a show then, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Love y'all.
You enjoy the rest of your week. Happy hump day. And we'll see you.
Good to see you guys.
You too, Mike. Thanks for coming to hang out. And you, Andrew.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
As for the rest of you, we'll see you back here Friday morning for more of the IronWorX right here at freeworld.fm. Be good, be well, do good, and do it well. We love you.